Hare Krishna devotees, welcome to Shloka Day. Today's Shloka number 7 of chapter 2. Karpanya dosho pahata svabhavaha.
Karpanya dosho pahata svabhavaha.
Pritchami tvam dharma sammudha chetaha.
Pritchami tvam dharma sammudha chetaha.
Yathreyasyan nischitam bruhi tanme.
Yasya nichitam bruhi tanme.
Shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam.
Sikshastaham chatimam tvam prapannam.
Word for word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Karpanya,
Karpanya
of miserliness.
of miserliness.
Dosha,
Dosha
by the weakness.
by the weakness.
Upahata,
Upahata
being afflicted.
being afflicted.
Swabhavaha,
Swabhavaha
characteristics.
characteristics.
Pritchami,
Prichami
I am asking.
I am asking.
Tvam,
Tvam
unto you.
unto you.
Dharma,
Dharma
religion.
religion.
Sammudha,
Sammudha
bewildered.
bewildered.
Chetaha,
Vedaha
in heart.
in heart.
Yat,
Yet
what?
what?
Shreyaha,
Sveyaha
all good.
all good.
Syat,
Syat
maybe.
maybe.
Nischitam,
Nichchidam
confidently.
confidently.
Bruhi,
Brohi
tell.
tell.
Tat,
Tat
that.
that
May,
may
unto me.
unto me.
Shishyaha,
Sishyaha
disciple.
disciple.
Te,
Te
your.
your.
Aham,
Aham
I am.
I am.
Shadhi,
Shadi
just instruct.
just instruct.
Mam,
Mom
me,
me.
Tvam,
Tvam
unto you.
unto you.
Prapannam,
Prapannam
surrendered.
surrendered.
Translation. Now I am confused about my duty
Now I am confused about my duty
and have lost all composure
and have lost all composure
because of miserly weakness.
because of my silly weakness.
In this condition,
In this condition,
I am asking you
I am asking you
to tell me for certain
to tell me for certain
what is best for me.
what is best for me.
Now I am your disciple
Now I am your disciple
and a soul surrendered unto you.
and the soul surrendered unto you.
Please instruct me.
Please instruct me.
Okay. Let's see what Prabhupada is writing in the purport. Prabhupada says, by nature's own way, the complete system of material activities is a source of perplexity for everyone. Which means the way we interact with Maya Devi when we come under her illusion, it perplexes us. In every step, there is perplexity. Perplexity means confusion. And therefore, it behooves one to approach a bona fide spiritual master who can give one proper guidance for executing the purpose of life. All Vedic literatures advise us to approach a bona fide spiritual master to get free from the perplexities of life, which happen without our desire. They are like a forest fire that somehow blazes without being set by anyone. Similarly, the world situation is such that perplexities of life automatically appear without our wanting such confusion. No one wants fire, and yet it takes place, and we become perplexed. The Vedic wisdom therefore advises that in order to solve the perplexities of life and to understand the science of the solution, one must approach a spiritual master who is in the disciplic succession. A person with a bona fide spiritual master is supposed to know everything. One should not therefore remain in material perplexities but should approach a spiritual master. That is the purport of this verse. So, what do you do when you're in a confused state of mind? You need help, you need guidance, and it would be appropriate to approach a spiritual master in this regard. Now, of course, this does not mean for every frivolous thing you go to a spiritual master. Because what is the purpose for a spiritual master? The spiritual master is meant to guide you on the spiritual path. So any perplexity that you face that causes you to question what is the right thing to do, in those instances, certainly one can approach a spiritual master. Not simple things like, okay, which college should I select or which job should I take? These things we should not trouble the spiritual master for. Something truly that is going to fundamentally, potentially alter your life because you're going to make a life-altering decision. Then yes, in those aspects, you can consult with a spiritual master. So for example, when I decided to retire from corporate life, I went and spoke to my spiritual master. One is to seek his permission and two is to seek his blessings because it's a life-altering decision. Now, does that mean everybody will get that opportunity to go and consult with spiritual master? Perhaps not. In those instances, then your senior devotees in the temple will become your guide. But yes, your spiritual master is always accessible to you should you have to make such decisions. Who is the man in material perplexities? It is he who does not understand the problems of life. In the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, the perplexed man is described as follows. Yova etad aksharam gargyavididvasman lokat praitisa kripanaha. He is a miserly man who does not solve the problems of life as a human and who thus quits this world like the cats and dogs without understanding the science of self-realization. So there's always a saying that human life is meant for you to pursue the spiritual path. And that spiritual path begins with Atma Tattva. So you need to first understand who you are. And I was telling you all yesterday, I was listening to a sannyasi from the Ramana Maharishi ashram, right? Just to understand what is this Mayavadi philosophy about. And I was saying that it all begins with the history and the travels of Sripad Adi Shankaracharya. And who all Sripad Adi Shankaracharya met from the age of 7, I think, when he takes sannyas. One is internal sannyas, and then one is external sannyas. The internal sannyas happens when his leg is caught in a crocodile's mouth, and he tells his mother, "You allow me to take sannyas, then maybe my life will be spared." And his mother agrees. And so In one of the stories that was being pointed out is that when you approach the spiritual master or when you approach a self-realized person, you also have to think through what kind of question you're going to ask. So it just so happened that there was a couple of men who were atheists, and they wanted to get into a debate with Ramana Maharishi in Tiruvannamalai. And they were prepared with all kinds of arguments. And the idea was to go to Ramana Maharishi and only ask one question. And so the two of them go and they pose this question to Ramana Maharishi. And Ramana Maharishi just smiles and is quiet for a very long time. And then he answers, because a question was posed to him, he answers the question with a question. And in the process of them pondering the answer to the question that had been posed by Ramana Maharishi, they came to the discovery that whatever it is that they had come there prepared to defeat Ramana Maharishi, they themselves got defeated simply by Ramana Maharishi asking them this question, which is, who is this I that you are thinking about? So the reason I'm bringing this up is that when you approach a spiritual master, you are really approaching a self-realized person to guide you. The mood, first of all, is not to challenge. Of course, there will be some personalities who are going out there just to figure out if they can debate someone who's a jnani and defeat them or trick them. So one cannot waste the time of self-realized souls like that. It's best to take advantage and seek guidance. So here it says, he is a miserly man who does not solve the problems of life as a human, and who thus quits this world like the cats and dogs without understanding the science of self-realization. This human form of life is a most valuable asset for the living entity, who can utilize it for solving the problems of life. Therefore, one who does not utilize this opportunity properly is called a miser. Miser means somebody who's like conjuice, we use the word conjuice. Somebody who's very not willing to let go. So imagine you have the best vehicle possible for you to go back to the spiritual world and you misuse that vehicle. Then that will be considered quite foolish. On the other hand, there is the Brahmana. So Kripana means miser. Brahmana, another meaning of Brahmana means somebody who is very generous. On the other hand, there is the Brahmana, he who is intelligent enough to utilize this body to solve all the problems of life. Ya etad aksharam gargi viditvasma lokat praitisa brahmanaha. So such a person utilizes his time very appropriately, utilizes the body, the vehicle that has been given very appropriately. The Kripanas or miserly persons waste their time in being overly affectionate for family, society, country, etc. in the material conception of life. One is often attached to family life, namely to wife, children, and other members, on the basis of skin disease. Prabhupada is calling it skin disease. What is that skin disease? You base your attachment based on relationships. The Kripana thinks that he is able to protect his family members from death. Or the Kripana thinks that his family or society can save him from the verge of death. Such family attachment can be found even in the lower animals who take care of children also. There is a nice pastime about this between Narada Muni and Valmiki before he becomes Valmiki. Yeah. It is said that Valmiki used to be a hunter. And Narada Muni tells him, why are you doing this? And the hunter says, but this is what we've been taught to do. This is our way of life. Narada Muni says, well, if that's the only way you have to put food on the table, then I will take care of all of your personal needs, but can you start chanting the names of Lord Ram? And so, one of the questions that the hunter goes and poses his wife is that, if I continue killing, will you accept 50% of the sins? And she says, absolutely not. I will not accept those sins. So when he heard this response, in the sense that the question now was, should he continue with his profession of killing animals? Or should he just do bhajan, as Narada Muni has asked him to do? So the choice was obvious, right? He recognized that even though his wife loved him, he loved his wife was not ready to share the sins committed by him for the purposes of protecting and feeding his own family. So that's why Prabhupada is saying everything is based on skin disease. When push comes to shove, your own family member may just abandon you. Such family attachment can be found even in the lower animals who take care of children also. Being intelligent, Arjuna could understand that his affection for family members and his wish to protect them from death were the causes of his perplexities. Although he could understand that his duty to fight was awaiting him, still, on account of miserly weakness, he could not discharge the duties. He is therefore asking Lord Krishna, the Supreme Spiritual Master, to make a definite solution. He offers himself to Krishna as a disciple. One of the important things to note is that in a relationship between a spiritual master and a disciple, the disciple no longer has independence to do whatever they want. They have to strictly follow the instructions of the spiritual master. Therefore, you lose your independence willingly, in the sense that you willingly give up your minute independence to accept instructions from your spiritual master. And so Arjuna was in that same state. I need a solution. Therefore, please accept me as your disciple. So he offers himself to Krishna as a disciple. He wants to stop friendly talks because the two of them were friends. Talks between the master and the disciple are serious. And now Arjuna wants to talk very seriously before the recognized spiritual master. Krishna is therefore the original spiritual master of the science of Bhagavad Gita. And Arjuna is the first disciple for understanding the Gita. How Arjuna understands the Bhagavad Gita is stated in the Gita itself. And yet foolish mundane scholars explain that one need not submit to Krishna as a person, but to the unborn within Krishna. So there is no difference between Krishna's within and without. And one who has no sense of this understanding is the greatest fool in trying to understand the Bhagavad Gita. So the reason Prabhupada is writing this particular criticism is because there are many people who look at Bhagavad Gita as a management book, as a management guide. There are other people who extrapolate things out of situations that have actually happened in reality to some other aspect. So in that sense, Prabhupada is saying, it is better you approach a genuine spiritual master if you truly want to understand the Bhagavad Gita. So you can see this is the first deep question that Arjuna has asked in the Bhagavad Gita, which is, what is the right thing to do? How do I go about making a decision? The Bhagavad Gita is God's song as indicated in its very name. But it is a distinctive kind of song because its poetic verses answer Arjuna's philosophical questions. Indeed, the entire Gita can be considered to be a question and answer session, wherein Arjuna raises 17 questions and Krishna answers them. So, in the 700 verses, 17 of them are questions from Arjuna. Everything else, with the exception of some shlokas attributed to Sanjaya and Dhritarashtra, everything else is actually Krishna's response to Arjuna's 17 questions. More precisely, the Gita can be analyzed as a nested question-answer session, wherein Arjuna's first question drives and defines the entire discussion. What about Arjuna's subsequent questions? They arise within Krishna's answer to Arjuna's first question and are addressed within that answer. Thus, Arjuna's first question is of paramount importance. What is that question? Essentially, it is, what is my dharma? I am in a confused state of mind. I could go this direction, I could go that direction. I'm not sure which decision will yield the best results for me, because in this case, for me, Krishna, dharma itself is confusing. What are the two dharmas that have come in conflict for Arjuna? The Kula dharma, which is to protect his family, the dynasty, or Kshatriya dharma, which is to uphold righteousness. Dharma here refers not to religion, but to do the right thing to do. This meaning is evident from the context. Arjuna is bewildered about what to do, to fight or not to fight. In the previous verse, he articulates his confusion. And in the next verse, which is the upcoming verse we will do tomorrow, he asserts the emptiness that will haunt him even if he fights and succeeds. Intriguingly, the Gita's driving question is also the Mahabharata's driving question. The whole epic is narrated in response to the inquiry, what is dharma? Significantly, Arjuna doesn't restrict his question to his specific situation. He doesn't ask, should I fight or not? Or even, what is my dharma? By phrasing his question in universal terms, what is dharma? Arjuna paves the way for Krishna to share timeless wisdom. Reciprocating with Arjuna's mood, Krishna doesn't get into the ethics of the Kurukshetra battle. Instead, he addresses universal questions about the meaning and purpose of life, thereby providing all of us a compass for dealing with whatever dilemmas we may confront during our life journey. So Arjuna's question was not, what is my dharma in this case? Arjuna's broader question was, what is dharma? How do I understand it? The universal nature of Arjuna's question opens the door for Krishna to provide wisdom that transcends Arjuna's specific context and speaks to all of humanity in its countless contexts. So that means, because the question itself is so broad, Krishna's answer will address everybody's questions that they have not yet asked or they have thought about. So that is the beauty of Krishna tackling this particular mood of Arjuna where he says, look, I'm confused. And so you please guide me on what I should do here. I will end the friendly relationship. I'm ready to be your student. I'm ready to surrender to you. So please instruct me. So this is an ideal student who is waiting to be instructed by the spiritual master. And this is exactly what Arjuna is doing here. He is saying, I've considered the situation from different angles, as he has expressed 4 different angles in the first chapter. 1 more in the second chapter, which we covered yesterday. And so now his confusion is, what's the right answer in this situation? What is actually dharma? That is what is confounding Arjuna in this particular shloka.
If you like our videos, please subscribe to our channel and turn on the bell notification. If you'd like to join our classes every day, please check the details in the description section of this video. We look forward to serving you.